The door of the old roadside bar creaked open as a thin beam of daylight sliced through the smoky air, catching the attention of every man inside. Boots clunked against the wooden floor, loud laughter echoed around the room, and glasses clinked as the bikers of the Iron Wolves enjoyed their usual rowdy afternoon. But everything shifted the moment a teenage girl, barely 17, stepped inside wearing a faded gray hoodie under a black leather vest far too large for her small frame. She stood silently, her shoulders tense, her hands trembling at her sides as every head turned toward her. Then the laughter began, low at first, rising quickly into mocking chuckles as they spotted the huge customized biker vest on her back. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and never judging people by appearances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. Most of the bikers thought she was a kid playing dress-up, maybe someone on a dare, or just another teenager trying to look tough. The vest was clearly old, worn at the edges, the patches frayed from years of weather and miles. On her small frame, it looked oversized and almost comical, which only added fuel to their laughter. A few of them exchanged smirks, nudging each other, unable to hide their amusement. But the girl didn't turn around. She didn't react. She simply stood there, breathing slowly, gathering strength she clearly wasn't sure she had. The room continued buzzing with laughter until one of the older bikers, broad, tattooed, holding a glass half filled with beer, leaned forward and narrowed his eyes. Something about the way she stood felt off. Not rebellious. Not cocky. Not playful. But heavy. Burdened. The kind of posture that comes from carrying grief. When the girl finally stepped forward, the light fell more clearly on the massive patch across her back. It read Iron Wolves. Beneath it was a snarling eagle emblem, stitched with careful detail but faded by time. And at the bottom, where the bikers expected a rank or nickname, was a patch that stopped the laughter cold. Founding member, 1971. A hush rolled through the bar like a wave crashing into silence. The bikers straightened in their seats, each man suddenly rigid, staring at the vest they all knew very well. That patch was sacred. Only a handful of men had ever earned it. And they were all legends. One of them, decades ago, had stopped riding altogether. Another had passed away. And the last one, known as Hawk, had disappeared from the club's life entirely. No one had seen him in years. The girl stood among their stunned faces, her breath trembling as she finally turned, revealing tired eyes and tear-swollen lashes. Her voice almost cracked, but she forced herself to stay steady. Not with words, but with courage. She slowly removed the vest, gripping it with both hands like she was holding something priceless. And she was. It had belonged to her father. Her father, their founding brother, their old mentor, their once unshakable leader, had died only 3 weeks earlier after a long, brutal battle with an illness he never told the club about. He had grown distant, isolated, determined not to be seen as weak, even by the men who would have stood by him until the very end. For a long moment, she couldn't lift her head. She felt their shock, their guilt, their confusion pressing heavily around her. She hadn't come to accuse them. She hadn't come to shame them. She had simply promised her father one thing before he passed: take them the vest. Let them know I never forgot them. She swallowed hard as the room remained silent, every biker suddenly frozen in place. She felt her throat tighten, but she continued stepping forward, placing the vest gently on the nearest table. Her father, in his final days, had whispered stories of his youthful adventures, the brotherhood he once found, the loyalty he missed, and the roads he wished he could have ridden one last time. He told her that these men, even if time had changed them, were still his family. As the truth settled, the bikers who had laughed moments earlier now stared at the vest with something far heavier than shame. Memories flooded back, late-night rides through empty highways, bonfire parties, close calls on the road, and the unbreakable bond they once shared with Hawk. A few blinked hard, fighting the sting in their eyes. One man lowered his face into his hands, shoulders shaking slightly as regret washed over him. The oldest among them finally stood. His hands trembled as he reached toward the vest, brushing the edge of the familiar stitching. But instead of picking it up, he turned to the girl. She expected anger, dismissal, or cold indifference. Instead, he nodded slowly, the quietest gesture of respect he could offer without his voice breaking. The others followed, each standing, each bowing his head to the daughter of the man who had given them purpose so many years ago. The girl finally exhaled as warmth spread across the room, the kind that rises from shared grief and rediscovered brotherhood. She felt something settle inside her, something peaceful, something freeing. She wasn't alone anymore. Her father's world, the world she had never understood, now welcomed her with sincerity and honor. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Your engagement truly helps keep these moments alive. Before the ending, I'd love to know, what lesson did you take from this story? Please comment below and share your thoughts. In the quietest moment of the day, surrounded by the men her father once trusted with his life, the girl watched as they lifted the vest and placed it at the center of the table, not as a relic, but as a tribute. For the first time since losing him, she felt the weight on her chest loosen. Her father's legacy was not forgotten. And neither was she.